Dr. Beatrice, Dr. Wanjiku, Dr. Keino, and Dr. Omboyo.
And who are you?
Sure. So, please, just one thing I just want you to notice. It is actually gender mainstreaming. You see? So, when you put women in charge, the gender equality then arises. So, I'm the one now to present. Mainstreaming gender. Oh, fantastic. So, before I present what we have, let me just appreciate two experiences that I've had in this conference. The first one was the first experience we had in the morning. Wow, that was great. Yeah? Which one? That was great. Where we were asked, for those who came in late, we had a very nice experience. Just find out what it was. It was fantastic, yeah? So, we don't forget experiences. And I also think this is also great. So, our role was just to show how sustainable production and resource utilization is mainstreamed in our activities. And this was easy for us because when you talk about production, then that is the key thing in economics. So when you just look at resources, we can just be able to summarize resources into entrepreneurship, capital, land, and labor. All the others, you can be able to fit them somewhere here. Whether you're talking about a time resource, you're talking about a financial resource, you can be able to fit them somehow here. So, how we understood this particular exercise was to show how can we be able to know that we have mainstreamed sustainable production and resource utilization. So, when it comes to capital, what we want to see is in the capital equipment, we want to see whether emissions are controlled. So we talk about controlled emissions. We want to see whether the equipment has green energy labels. We want to see whether there are disposal mechanisms. We want to see whether the capital being used complies to regulations. And then we want to see whether there are recycling mechanisms within that particular organization. And then when it comes to land, on the other hand, how do you verify that sustainable production and resource utilization is mainstreamed in land use? So we want to see proper land use. So where we have evidence that land is being used for the proper functions. And then we also want to, if we notice there is organic farming, you were saying, when the presenter was talking about touch the soil, what does she mean? Touch the soil. Then, our mind went directly to organic farming. So if there's evidence of organic farming, then we know that production is actually sustainable and there is proper utilization of resources. We want to look at afforestation. Is there evidence of afforestation? Is there evidence of control of soil erosion? And we're just looking at a means of verification here. We are all old enough to understand what it was meant by momonyoko udongo, yeah? Then we are looking at crop rotation, we are looking at cover crops, and we are looking at feasibility reports on land use. Are they available? Yeah? Then, so those are some of the things, if we find that these are available, then we know that there is sustainable production and utilization of resources. So when it comes to labor, on the other hand, as a production resource, so we want to look at the working conditions. Are they safe? Are the working conditions safe? Beyond safe working conditions, here we are looking at the infrastructure, and then protective gear, then we are looking at the employee. Okay, can you quickly run, because COVID has been here, is here with us. So you want to know that, is the employee protected? Do they have protective gear? I'm giving the example of COVID because it is still very fresh in our minds. Then we want to look at training. Are there training programs for these particular workers? And then do they have this Occupational Safety and Healthy Act? Is it available and is it being implemented? And then do they have programs of psychosocial support? We can say, we used to talk about like mental health being a problem ya muzungu, But now we are accepting that this problem is here with us. So is there evidence that there's psychosocial support for the workers in that particular organization? Then we want to look at capacity building, like what is happening here. The capacity, this is like a capacity building session for us. And then is there evidence of capacity building within that organization? And then we also looked at welfare programs for employees. They connected to psychosocial support, and so on and so forth. And then when we came now to the other factor, which is entrepreneurship, evidence that this is sustainable, we are looking at patterns. Yeah, because we all understand what is meant by entrepreneurship. These products patented and ideas. And then copyright, is there evidence of availability of copyright? And then is there capacity building for the entrepreneurs, programs of capacity building for the entrepreneurs? Then, is there an incentive to encourage more enterprise? We are looking at recognition awards, but generally we are looking at it from an incentive to encourage more enterprise, and then basically training. What you call incubation centers in most of your universities. So basically, I will invite my team if there is something that I've not been able to illustrate properly.